up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl Jay, and this is not Jay's Quick Three. This is actually the first of a series that I've started where I am going to cover or go over an old school, I guess you can call it old school magazine. I call it the Mag Flashback. And if you are watching this, which you should be, right there at the bottom, it says Vibe February 1998. So that's what we're going to cover. If you saw my TikTok, you already know this, but welcome to my channel. Welcome to my series. All right. So this is the magazine. I don't know if you can see with the light, but I have a little special surprise for you guys. Also, in this magazine, it was a fold out, and you'll see it a little bit better when I show you the actual graphics. So instead of me holding up the magazine every single time to show you things, I'm just going to put it on the screen. So I did a little work. You see that? So that's what the full page cover looks like when you unfold it, I mean. So there were two versions of this that came out. There was the one with the ladies on the front with the guys in the fold out, and then they had one with the guys in the front and the ladies on the fold out. So as you can see on the screen on the cover, we have Lil Kim, we have Lauryn Hill, we have Missy Elliott, we have Foxy Brown, excuse me. We have Master P, we have Busta Rhymes, we have Method Man, who still looks fine, and LL Cool J. And the title of the magazine or the issue was Rap Reigns Supreme. So it was all about the biggest, baddest picks of the year. As I said in my TikTok, this was kind of like an awards type of issue. They talked about who were some of the best during the year. So what I'm pretty much going to do, I'm not going to go through every page. I'm going to go through some of the notable things, some of the things I thought that stood out in the magazine. Of course, as you guys are watching, when I make more of these series, if you have any other suggestions or if you like to see different things, just hit me up. I'll give my information at the end of the video. So also you're going to hear the pages turn, as Jill Scott says, because first of all, Vibe is a big magazine. Second of all, these pages are crunchy, as you can hear. So you're going to hear a lot of that. I'll try to make it as small as possible, but we're going to do this so you guys can see. And if any of these pictures are kind of unclear, again, this is my first episode. I'm just working through the kinks and I'll fix what I can fix. So that's the cover, as we already stated, or as I've already stated. A couple of things that just to point out on this this episode that I'm going to do. I'll be picking out different, you'll see as I pull up the pictures, different things I thought were pretty cool. Then just to think back, of course, 1998, I was in college. So 1998, as you can see, had some pretty dope artists out there. Everyone from Little Kim all the way to LL Cool J on the cover. So we're going to get into it. Let me just get into it. Let's see what's the next. What I have. So this this right here is an advertisement. I just thought it was cool just to see what the shoe was. I don't remember who number 8 was from the Celtics. Any movie buffs out there, or movie buffs, any sports buffs out there, if you know who that was hot in 2000 or in 1998 during that time, that maybe wore those shoes, or that is his shoe. Go ahead and speak out. I'm trying to see if it shows, if it says in the magazine whose shoes they are. It doesn't say. So moving on. Now, the features page pretty much is a table of contents. They had like 4 pages, 3 or 4 pages of content. So they picked out different things. So the features table of contents talks about obviously who they wanted to feature. So Aaliyah is on here because she is what they call the V face. She got the the feature for that month as, looks, of course, face card never declines. So shout out to Aaliyah. Let's see who else we got in here. There's a feature on Usher. There's a feature on Pam Grier. There's a feature on Allen Iverson. And then they had the big feature, which talked about all the artists that they had on the cover. Now, I chose this because do y'all remember when Tyrese was a model? Even before he started really singing, he used to model. This is an advertisement for Tommy Hilfiger. So I just thought that was pretty cool to have in there. So in the mix, so this part was pretty much okay. We didn't have social media really back then. 1998. No, we were just starting to like get into. I don't think Facebook was even a thing until I had graduated. But this is how we saw what was going on, like what people were doing when they weren't being interviewed, when they weren't on the stage. Different magazines would have these pages where it would just show like random celebrities doing random things. And so you can see there's Whoopi Goldberg, I think there's Lauren Hill, um, there's Lil Kim is on there, DJ Funk Flex, Rick James. That's random. Andre Harrell. The next one is has well, who is this? Charo. And then rerun from What's Happening is on here. Who is that? Shaka Khan. But yeah, it numbered the pictures and then it told you in the little reading like what they were up to or what they were doing. Now we're gonna get to this part is about some of the up and coming artists they felt were prevalent during 1998. So let's get into it. Big Pun. He had an album, Bring the Pain. They thought he was someone that was to look out for. Obviously, we know he became a really big artist, and fortunately, he passed away, but he definitely made his mark in the hip hop scene. Also, Next. We know about Next. Next and the song that no kid should have been singing, but we were all singing about things poking through. But 1998, they were on the verge of being something special. And again, to look back, we know they definitely made their mark in their own way in the industry. Now, getting to the main, now these pictures, y'all, these pictures I took, these are not like I couldn't find like digital photos online. So I had to take these pictures. So it's a little wrinkly because again, this magazine is mad old and that's just how it is. But the featured artists, LL Cool J, Foxy Brown, Lauren Hill, Master P. Uh, this, like I said, was they talked about them and their impact on hip hop and rap and like where it's going, where it's been, and where it's going. And then they went into giving out some awards to people. So this next section was called High of the High Vibe Anoints the Leaders of the Now School. So first thing they gave out was Album of the Year, and that went to Biggie Smalls, Life After Death. Runners up were Baduism by Erica Badu and Wu Tang Forever by the Wu Tang Clan. So very interesting during that time. I put these together. These aren't in the order of the magazine, but the next award they gave out was Artist of the Year. Artist of the Year went to Master P because I mean, if you know the history of Master P and No Limit Records, they were turning out albums and singles and artists like one after the other, over and over and over and over again. Like it was no limit, seriously, to what Master P did, and he created all that from nothing. So he definitely, during that time, I felt deserved the Artist of the Year. He was really big during that time. Runners up, which is very probably interesting some of you to know, but the runners up were Notorious B.I.G. and Lil Kim. So think about this. Think about what you know of these artists now. And maybe if you weren't around during the 90s to know like who these artists were and what they were to us back then. Think about this. Master P was the artist of the year over Biggie Smalls and Lil Kim. So it's crazy to think about. The next one they gave, Song of the Year, went to Missy for The Rain. That was her debut song as a solo artist. The runners up were Busta Rhymes with Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, and Puff Daddy and the Family, All About the Benjamins. The remix with Notorious B.I.G., Lil Kim, and the Lox. Everybody knows that Lil Kim came in and shut down that whole song. Her her verse on that song is probably my favorite verse of hers. I would say top 5 of hers. I won't say of all time, that I'll say top 5. The next award they gave was the Breakthrough Award. They gave it to Erykah Badu. Runners up were Wyclef Jean, Missy Elliott. So that was that. Let's see what's the next things. Producer of the year. Producer of the year went to Puffy. Runners up were Timberland and RZA. Of course, we know mid 90s, Bad Boy, that whole shiny suit era definitely propelled Puffy to another level as far as a producer. He had a lot of things going on during that time. He had Big, he had Lox, he had Mace, Craig Mack. He just had a large array of artists under his belt during that time, which of course is why they probably gave him producer of the year. Timberland, of course, we know with him and Missy getting with Aaliyah for her One in a Million album, her second album that she released, it definitely propelled them to the forefront because that mix of them, and then they had Genuine. Tweet was a part of that. Magoo during that time was a part of that. So that was a dope run as well. And then RZA ran all of Wu-Tang. Like he produced, if you ever have a chance to kind of look at the history of how Wu-Tang Clan got started, I would look at that. I think Hulu, if it's still on Hulu, they had a mini series that actually talked about the history of Wu-Tang Clan that I didn't even know. So to see the brainchild behind RZA and how he formed Wu-Tang again from nothing to something is amazing to see. So I would check that out. Now the sleepers, someone they said, or people they said that people are sleeping on. Drew Hill and Foxy Brown were tied. Runners up were 702 and Genuine. And I agree. I mean, Drew Hill definitely was a talented group. Like some of my favorite songs are Drew Hill songs. Foxy Brown was also there, but then you have like your Jodeci's and your Boys to Men, um, kind of in the forefront, as well as for Foxy. Of course, we had Lil Kim, and so it didn't they were just as talented. They just weren't able, I don't during that time to like just push up and be the top artist during that time. But again, over time, they made a name for themselves in their own right. 702 Genuine. I love me some 702. Of course, Genuine went on to have a great career as well. Who do we have next? Um, the best MC. Best MC went to Jay-Z. Jay-Z was having a phenomenal run during the 90s. Runner-up was Common and Scarface. Scarface from Houston, Common from Chicago. This is back when I used to listen to rap, so I agree with everything that is being said in this article about the top rappers during that time. Let's see. Oh, under that was the comeback of the year, which went to the artist formerly known as Prince. He was just a symbol during that time. But Prince, Prince was an artist. It didn't matter what he was doing, when he was coming out, when he dropped, whatever was happening, he was always going to rise to the top. He was an amazing, amazing artist, amazing writer, amazing musician, amazing producer. And I mean, really, there was no competition. A lot of people compare him and Mike, and a lot of people will pick Michael Jackson over him. Some people will pick Prince over Michael Jackson. I don't do the comparisons. I just love me some Prince and I love me some Michael Jackson. I just let them be. Um, so that's just my thought on that. The runners up was Rakim and Bob Dylan, comeback of the year. I don't know nothing about Bob Dylan coming back, but I guess he did. Because that's what they said in the vibe. Now, let's see what's next. This next group of people were who else gets props. So these were some of the best in 97. So this publication was February of 98. So of course most of these um artists and things that they're talking about would have been from the previous year of 1997. So I got to pull the magazine close so I can see who was hot during 97. So video director of the year went to Hype Williams. Hype directed Missy Elliott's The Rain. He directed More Money, More Problems. Also, I'll Be Missing You, featuring 112 by Puff Daddy. Death Defying Video. Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, directed by Hype Williams. Supreme Remix, Salam Remy and Edison Electric. They did a refashioning, they call, of Lauryn Hill's The Sweetest Thing. The Sweetest Indeed. Runner up was Puffy with the recreation of the Locks All About the Benjamins with that remix. And honorable mention goes to Jermaine Dupri's remix of Drew Hill's In My Bed featuring the Brat. So they turned the slow jam into like that kind of upbeat jam. The Bomb Underground Hip Hop album goes to Capone and Noriega. The War Report. And a lot of y'all know Nori from Drink Champs, but we all know him from Capone and Noriega back in the day when he had, he was in that rap group. Sexiest Slow Jam. Whenever, Wherever, Whatever by Maxwell. I have to say that is one of my favorite all-time songs from Maxwell. That song just does it for me. Runner up, Keep Sweat Nobody. Uh, don't like that. I don't like that song only because when I was in school in college, they played this song everywhere they could play the song. It was in the cafeteria, it was on campus, it was on the video screens, it was wherever they can play it, they played it. It got on my nerves. So I am not a fan. And then Super Duper Fly. Superior Jazz album was Doc Cheatham and Nicholas Payton. Wickedest reggae album went to Bounty Killer for My Experience. Hypest live show went to Goody Mob. Tired live show, Wu Tang. It's hard to party when you're tardy or absent. Eee. I guess they were having some issues during that time. Flyers album cover was Common. One Day It'll All Make Sense. Um, Scariest trend. They said double albums that could have easily been condensed into one great album. That was a scary trend to them. Coolest collaboration was Blackstreet, Old Dirty Bastard, and Slash for Fix. I don't even I don't know if I know that song. The shortest that was my dog sneezing. The shortest shelf life was Terrell Hicks. She was never really given a chance. Like I was rooting for Terrell. Like I thought she had a great voice. If you don't know who she is, she played in Belly. She was Keisha, if I'm not mistaken, Keisha in Belly, and she was also in A Bronx Tale, which I was one of my favorite movies. But she just didn't really move on past the acting, and I think she had a single that she did a remake of um Denise Williams' Silly. She did a remake of that. I thought she sounded great. I don't know why her career didn't really go very far, but shout out to Terrell. Hottest dance moves in a video is Wyclef Jean for We Trying to Stay Alive. Best dressed goes to Maxwell. Best undressed goes to Lil Kim. Wackest gear goes to Keenan Ivory Wayans. I'm not gonna read all these. This one says best vocal while sitting on a toilet is Master P. Is There a Heaven for a Gangster? Movie breakthrough, I'm About It, which was Master P's movie. Again, he did movies, he did music, he produced, he was everything there. Tastiest soundtrack during that time was Soul Food, and champion mixologist is DJ Premier. All right. So the next one, I just am going to show this cover, or this picture. This was the feature on Allen Iverson. Um, you can see it says God sent or gangster, Tupac or Too Strong. If Allen Iverson, a volcano of machismo, skills, and confusion is the answer, then what's the question? Now, this was written by Jason Whitlock. And even though I'm not in the sports anymore, I know who this dude is. And I don't know if this was really a biased article or not, but I know he just talks crazy nowadays. So we're not even going to get into the article, but I only brought this up just because this was during the time where people like Allen Iverson, who just was he loved the baggy shorts. He didn't like to wear suits when he wasn't playing. He had his chains on, long t-shirts, baggy jeans, a hat to the side, a bandana on. He really was pushing against the standards that the NBA was trying to make during that time. It was pretty much it's kind of like the what you would think of having a dress code in certain restaurants if they say no hats, no long t-shirts, or no, baggy shorts, no sagging pants. They're trying to quote unquote keep out a certain, you know, type of person out of their wonderful establishment, quote unquote. And NBA kind of had a span of time where they were doing that. I guess they thought they were trying to correct some bad behavior that they thought, or some bad habits that they thought some of the players had, and they wanted to keep. I've heard people say riff-raff out of the NBA, but these guys were here to play, and it didn't matter what was going on, what kind of dress code they had. If they can go up there and score points and win for their team, that's all that should have mattered, and that's all that does matter. You can see now that although the fashion is a little crazy nowadays, Allen Iverson was definitely one of the trailblazers to kind of push against that negativity that the NBA during that time was trying to force on us. So what do we have next? Now look at this little picture of Usher. I'm not going to talk about the article. I just thought it was funny for him. Look how young he looks. Now, if anybody's seen Usher now, Usher is a grown man. This man is way grown in his 40s, but this was 1998. He had just released My Way. Um, I think You Make Me Wanna was the single during this time. So they did a feature on him kind of growing up because, as we know, Usher was out before his first single. I believe it was Call Me a Mac off the Poetic Justice soundtrack came out. He was super young. He had an album, self-titled, if I'm not mistaken, then, and then he came back with his second album, which was My Way. So they just kind of talked about his journey. This right here is just another thing I wanted to point out that I thought was pretty cool. Some of the sneakers that were like, I guess, the top thing during that time. I actually had those Air Maxes that's on the bottom. I didn't have that color. I think mine were just black and white. I didn't have the orange in there. But as you can see, there's the Fila, there's Converse, there's Nikes, there's Reeboks. Those are the things that were like hot during that time that they wanted to feature in the magazine. Let's see, there was the classic Fila. They went and listen to these prices, y'all, because I was just talking about how expensive shoes are. I went to a shoe store the other day and saw some $500 Dunk Lows, and I'm like, I have like 4 pair of Dunk Lows right now, and I paid like $49.99. I bought them a long, long time ago, obviously, but it's crazy. So the Classico Fila, which are the ones up top, went for $55. The classic nylon Reebok, there's just the regular classic Reeboks, those went for 30. The Adidas sports trainer went for $65. The Pro Leather Dr. J Converse went for $55. The Air Max, the Nike Air Max, they went for 140. Those were 140, a limited return of the classic in a new color. So probably the reason I didn't pay 140 because I had the original ones, not the re-release. And obviously we can see the inflation there. I didn't realize that. And then the Nike Air Zoom Flight, they went for 110. It's those black ones there at the bottom. Then there's something here I want to show y'all real quick. I'm gonna switch out the screen real fast. Y'all have got hold on. Y'all have got to see. I want y'all to show. I want y'all to see this. You see that 12 CDs for $1. This is how we got CDs back in the day, y'all. I had my whole collection. I would go. This was who is this? This is BMG Music. So Columbia House had one, BMG Music had one, and I think another group had one. But you would get these pullouts from the magazines. You would get the number of the CDs that you want because all of them had their little ID numbers, and then you would mail in right here how many, which CDs you wanted. You will put it on there, you will mail it in, and then you would get your 12 CDs for $1. Now, here's the thing. What you were really signing up for was a subscription service, but we didn't pay attention to that. We just wanted our 12 CDs for $1. And well, this says 12 CDs for one, for the price of one. There was some that said 12 CDs for $1. Some of them did 12 CDs for a penny. But what you were really doing was signing up. You didn't read the fine print where it would be like every month you're going to get 2 or 3 CDs that you're going to be billed for and have to pay for. So I have a lot of CDs that I never paid for at the time. There's another one in here too. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I may not be able to find it. Yeah, right here. This is one. This is Columbia House. Columbia House has, if you can see that, 11 CDs for 1 cent. So again, we did go to the record stores. We did go to the record stores to buy stuff, but we also signed up for these promotional deals and got a lot of our music really cheap that way. So let's get back to it. What's next? The Hot Like Fire, the V Face went to Aaliyah. She was the featured person that in this issue. So pretty much it just gives a little blimp about Aaliyah. They ask her what her routine is. She says she doesn't wear makeup a lot except for work. She says, I wash my face with the Noxzema and I follow up with Sea Breeze. My hair is totally natural. I don't have a perm. I wrap my hair at night so I don't have to use heat on it. Some secrets is I work out 5 days a week with a trainer. I love aerobics. Sorry, they had that cut in half. I can read. I love aerobics. I drink lots of water and I take my vitamins, especially aloe vera gel caps for my throat and skin. Must haves are MAC lip gloss and Yeah, that's about it. That she was 19 years old and she was the V face for this issue. Another just picture. I'm not going to really go into everything. They also had an art section where they talked about movies, TVs, and tech. Um, Dave Chappelle was one of the featured people for Half Baked, one of my favorite movies again. But look how young Dave Chappelle looks. Let's see what else. There was some stuff, and I don't have pictures of this, but just some of the albums that they talked about, that some things to look out for. Tupac's "Are You Still Down?" "Remember Me," Spice Girls, Spice World, LSG, self-titled LSG, um, Will Smith's "Big Willie Style," Brown Eyed Soul, "The Soul of East LA," Destiny's Child by Destiny's Child. And some of the things in okay, hold on. I put this tech thing in here because I really wanted y'all to see what was hot in tech in 98. Because this stuff, I'm kind of perplexed about it because I don't even remember what that is. I'm trying to find a page now because I done lost my spot. But what's hot in tech? It has this thing with this card holder, smarter than the average card. In the future, your wallet will become a lot lighter, not due to a bankruptcy, but because of a change in currency. The days of crumbled notes are numbered. The age of smart card is upon us. So far, smart cards have been used primarily to access your offices, but now banks such as Citibank, in conjunction with Visa and Chase, with Mastercard owned, Mondex, are currently working together to take the card idea out of the office setting and into your personal life. Smart cards first appeared in the relatively smaller cities of San Francisco and Atlanta after successful tryouts in pockets of Europe. Now, Chase and Visa are trying to persuade the people of New York to use the cards in small transactions normally. I don't know what that is. I've never seen it. It didn't last. The next thing on here is a beepware by Motorola and Timex have inspired to bring you the coolest watch this side of G-Shock, a watch pager to savor. Beepware went for $129. It can be activated in all parts of the United States, courtesy of its 900 megahertz band. Plus, Beepy can receive text as well as numeric messages and features all the usual digital watch tricks. So it was a watch and a beeper. That's what's in that lower, I guess, left hand corner for you. And this thing, postcards from the edge. It is from hard drives to laptops and now to the handheld. The personal computer just keeps changing. Check Sharp Electronics, a PC that features a 6.5-inch color optional screen, a built in fax modem, and Internet Explorer. So this was like a, a laptop, I guess, that you kind of carried around, but it also did faxes and you can also see the internet. But it had a giant 6.5-inch color screen that was optional if you wanted that. Now my dogs are up and they're ready to do whatever. Y'all got to give me a break. I'm almost done. Last but not least, in every Vibe magazine, they had these 20 questions. And I'm going to get to them real quick here. I'm going to read through the 20 questions. It was something I always look for. I thought it was like a little funny thing. You wanted to see who they were talking about in that special edition, or, whatever edition was coming out during that time. And so I always ran and turned to the back of the Vibe so I can read the 20 questions. So I'm gonna read these. This was the late '90s, so hopefully it's nothing offensive in here. Speaking of offensive, there is something in here that I wanted to point out before I go, but I'm gonna read these 20 questions. Number one: don't the kids from Comedy Central, South Park make MTV's Beavis and Butthead seem even more like a couple of herbs? I don't know what that means. Number two, why is handball like the most fun? Three, now that Erica Badu and Outkast Dre are booed up, will they start rocking each other's head wraps? They did. 4, why didn't a large professor ever get tenure? 5, is Jamiroquai the new Elton John? 6, why is one of the butterest tracks, and it says butterest tracks on Jay-Z's new In My Lifetime Volume 1, the premiere produced 1,000,001 questions, only 20 seconds long. Next question. Do brothers walk around with one pant leg up because they have a cut that needs air to heal? Is Timothy Leary directing those bugged out psychedelic Levi commercials from the great beyond? Was Grease still on Broadway and Saturday Night Fever heading there? Can Beach Street the musical be far behind? Who else saw Burt Reynolds, Mark Wahlberg, Brian Austin Green, and Ice Cube rhyming in a cipher at the New York premiere of Boogie Nights? They did that. From All About the Benjamins video to Monday Night Football to his own ABC special, Savion Glover is the bomb, ain't he? Is it because her song Hopeless sounds so hopeful that we still get a Love Jones for Dion Ferris? How could Lord Tariq and Peter Guns name their independently released single Deja Vu when we haven't heard anything this dope in a long time? That's back when Peter Guns used to rap and not just be on Love and Hip Hop. Sorry, but doesn't Magoo sound like Q-Tip on helium? Something for the people's hit. My love is the shh is fresh and all, but isn't a foul stench indicative of something kind of funky? I don't get that. Why does the cover of Nas, Foxy, AZ, and Nature's album The Firm look so much like that of the Fugees' The Score? Ooh. Are the heads checking for St. Ives fruit punch? With all the with all the concussions inflicted upon NFL quarterbacks, shouldn't Monday Night Football change its theme song to Dr. Dre's Keep Their Head Ringing? Why does Janet Jackson verse in Got Till It's Gone sound remarkably similar to Desiree's 1994 hit You Gotta Be? I'm gonna have to listen to that because I don't know. Does it sound alike? Hmm. And the last question. Why is it all about WB's Buffy? Why is it all about WB's Buffy the Vampire Slayer? So that was the questions. You kind of had to be there to kind of understand some of them. Reading them now, they kind of really don't make a whole lot of sense. Some of the stuff I remember, some of it I don't. But yes, the WB was what is it now? CW is now. Um, the WB came from UPN, I think, merging with WB to create the CW. I believe that's what happened, something like that. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I used to watch that a lot. One more thing before I get out of here. There is this article that, if I can find it, the Hall of Lame. I didn't even know this. Sorry, y'all, my nose is running. I didn't even know this. So apparently, the sisters of BB and CC, younger sisters, their names are Debbie and Angie. They released a song called It's Not Natural. And I'm not going to read the words, but I gave them the Hall of Lame. They inducted them into the Hall of Lame because this song was pretty much anti-gay. And it's not natural is all you need to know about what they sang about in this song. I just thought it was crazy that something like this was even released and that they again, this was a different time. So the song was released. They were talking about how upset they were about Ellen DeGeneres being on TV. Um, they didn't use the gay agenda like people use nowadays, but it was pretty much that they didn't like how the gay community was starting to be seen so much and accepted so much, so they wrote a song about it, which is crazy. So at your own will, if you want to look up It's Not Natural by Debbie and Angie Winans, feel free and go ahead. So that is the end of this series, or this episode of the series, covering Vibe Magazine's February 1998 issue. I appreciate you guys for hanging with me during the this is my first time doing it, so I've never done anything like this before. So as I continue to do these, I'll get better. Don't worry. I'm not used to being on camera or doing anything with the camera. My dogs are making noises. They want to get up here, and I got to work it out. But come see me at jsquick3pod.com. I have everything there, all my episodes. If you don't know me, my name is Jay. I am a podcaster. I do have the podcast Jay's Quick 3. But you can follow me on TikTok at Jay's Quick 3. You can follow me on Instagram at Jay's Quick 3. You can follow me on Twitter at Jay's Quick 3 Pod. And again, like I said, all things me and my podcast is on jsquick3pod.com. I pick 3 topics. I talk about them as only I can from my own point of view. I do music episodes. I've been doing interviews now. I have a lot of different things that I'm doing. This is another thing I'm branching out from my podcast to do. So if you like things like this, I have tons more that's coming to you. Just check out my website, and I hope that y'all continue to support and come hang with me. So I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.